Well, hello there in Facebook land. It's second cup. So whatever you have, tea, coffee, um, whatever your drink of choice is, get your second cup because today we're going to talk about um, changes, house hunting changes, and everything that goes along with that because of this COVID situation. So bear with me. I just want to make sure that my audio is working and that my video is working. So hang in there. I'm going to play a little music if I can. We'll see if this works.
I'm going through
Okay. Seems like that was working. So before I start, I just want to do one other thing. I want to thank Leslie McAllister, the owner of Juju. She was fantastic last week, and if you didn't catch it, go back and check out my video from last week. She talked about how to cleanse your house, uh, and it doesn't even have to involve, smudge sticks and things like that. She talked about this wonderful way to cleanse your house with lemon and rosemary and water. It was fantastic. So check that out for sure. Either go to my YouTube channel or here on my Facebook page, find the video from last week. Uh, so let's talk about what's going to happen. So tomorrow we go into the yellow phase. And what does that mean? That means that real estate agents are allowed to do in-person real estate now. If anybody's been in the market to buy or anybody's been considering selling, you know that it's been very, very strange, and we haven't been able to do it. Some states have been, some other states cannot. So we are on Friday. We're allowed to do in-person real estate. We're allowed to see your faces. It's very exciting. Uh, and sorry, just checking my audio. So we're going to be able to do it, but it's going to be very, very different. So I wanted to talk about that. If you're thinking of selling, if you're thinking of buying, even if you're a window shopper, this is going to be really important stuff. So put questions in the comments. I would be happy to answer them and get back to you as soon as possible. But we're going to talk a little bit about it and what's going on. What's it going to be like? It's going to be a lot different. Um, but most of it's going to be good. Some of it's going to be temporary, um, and and some of it may not be temporary. We just don't know. So it's going to be different. So let's talk about that. If you're selling, you're in charge. You're in control. How do you want your showings to go? It's going to be up to you. You are going to be in control in determining, uh, how your house is shown. So, um, what do you want? Do you want health screenings for people, for buyers? Do you want them to wear duties? Do you want them to spend only half an hour in your house, etc.? We'll go over all of that. But sellers should know that you're going to be in control. Well, what do you have to do? On your end, you have to keep the house clean. You have to scrub it from top to bottom, and let's be honest, if you're selling your house, you're doing that anyway. So you're going to keep all of the surfaces clean. You're going to wipe all the handles, the lights, and let's talk about lights. So you're getting ready for a showing. What are you going to do? Turn on all the lights. That way, nobody has to touch the light switches. All the lights are on. All the closet doors are open. All the bedroom doors are open. Everything's open, and everything is lit. That's the best way to show your house anyway. So when I say some of these things are gonna be good, these are probably things that people putting their house on the market should have been doing in the first place. Um, but maybe we just got out of the habit of it, and, maybe things got so easy that you just let people into the house and it sells. So, um, that's going to be a big deal. Just having all the lights on, all the doors open, everything clean, everything fresh, and that's perfect for you when you're selling. What else is different? Well, if you wanna think about it, maybe you don't want random, uh, shoppers in your house. Um, do you want random people coming in that just maybe, you know, click on you from the internet, but maybe call your for sale by Amazon sign in the yard? You don't know where they've been, what they do, if they've been sick, if they've not, if they're pre-approved. I think the age of just every random inquiry seeing a house is gonna change, and I think that's where we as realtors become so important because we're going to be the gatekeepers. We're going to get into that pre-screening process, and we talk about that on the buyer side. But, as a seller, putting your house on the market and spending all this time to clean it and make sure that everything is sanitary and clean and perfect, you're not going to really want hobby lookers, people that aren't serious, people that are just curious, or, worst case scenario, people with nefarious intentions. So that's how things change on the seller side. You're really going to have a lot more control. You're going to feel more secure, uh, and I think you're really going to see a push to put your best foot forward with virtual tours, virtual open houses, sort of putting it out there before anybody sets foot in the door. Um, the biggest change, though, is gonna be with buyers, I think, and that's where a lot has changed, and I think if you're a buyer, it's time to get serious. It's time to get serious about the search, and we're gonna talk about that. What's changed? Well, a lot has changed, and this shows you a little bit about what I'm talking about here. In-person tours, they're going to be no more than 2 people in the house at a time. So that means that, you know, friends, your brother, sister, cousins, parents, um, anybody who might be curious, while they're very excited and wonderful, they can't come to the tour. We can only show 2 people at a time. And that's just to keep, again, to keep everybody safe, keep you safe, keep them safe, keep me safe, keep sellers safe. So that's been changed. Uh, the second is, of course, personal protective gear, masks, gloves, foot covering. Foot covering, let's talk about foot covering. Foot covering, could be shoes or socks. However, it's being interpreted different, and so foot covering could mean booties over your shoes. So just be prepared for that. You'll definitely have to wear a mask. You'll definitely have to wear gloves, but you may have to wear booties. And if so, your agent will discuss with you whether or not they're provided, whether he or she has them, you need to get them. Uh, that'll all be sorted out before you get to the house. But just be aware that it may come up. It may be a reality. And finally, limited number of showings. So there are going to be guidelines, and so there won't be as many showings in a day. Um, you may be limited to seeing the house that one time and making a decision. Uh, sometimes people wanna come back and they wanna bring somebody back to take a second look, or they wanna take a second look, or they wanna measure, things like that. There's gonna be a limit, uh, because so much cleaning and sanitizing has to go on, because we wanna limit the number of people, there that's gonna happen, that we're gonna be limited to the number of showings. So, again, it goes back to that, be serious, get serious, think about it, look at this house with intention, and, be ready. there's not gonna be a lot of curiosity looking anymore, hobby looking. Um, th that's really gonna go by the wayside. So some other big changes with buying, there are gonna be a lot of forms. Buying is gonna go from this and showing they're going to look a lot more like this than this. Uh, and again, we talked about that, how many people are gonna be there. We're not going to be running into each other. There aren't gonna be these crushes of, uh, if somebody's looking at the house, "Oh, we'll just go in too." It's not gonna be like that. We're gonna have to schedule these showings, and you'll get maybe half an hour, and then the next person arrives. And so we're gonna have to be on time. We're going to have to take, you know, uh, be mindful of how long we're in a house. If it's somebody else's appointment, we're gonna have to stay on schedule, and that's our job. We will take care of all of that. But I just want buyers to know that these are going to be things that are gonna happen. So last but not least, we want to talk about some of the big here with post lockdown house hunting, um, and how to get serious about it. Buyers are going to have to sign possibly all of these items, but if not most of them, if not all of them. You're going to have to have a pre-approval letter. You're going to have to be in a discussion with a lender and have a pre-approval letter, proof of funds. And again, that goes back to sellers possibly really not wanting hobby lookers in the house, maybe people who are looking for decorating ideas or just curious or bored on a Saturday or Sunday. So you're going to have that. And if you don't have an updated one, you're gonna have to get one, and I can help with that. Those are no obligation. They don't cost anything. They don't lock you into a mortgage application. It's simply, "We're serious about this, and we've gotta get this pre-approval letter." You're going to have to sign a consumer notice with your agent, an exclusive buyer agency with your buyer agent. And then on top of that, there are going to be some other forms. Uh, there's a health screening form that sellers may require, and it's going to be every time you look at a house, you're going to have to do this health screening form that um, asks you sort of some of those questions. If you talk to your doctor in the past few months, they've asked you if you've had a fever, if you've had any symptoms, if you've been with anybody that's tested positive for COVID, if you've been with anybody or in contact with anybody who's symptomatic, etc. That's going to be a required form in many cases. It's a suggested best practice, but my gut feeling is that most sellers are going to require it. Another is an advisory acknowledgement, and that's a notice that basically says, "Look, we've explained to you that you need to wear protective gear, that the house has been cleaned, that the seller is expecting light switches and door handles and everything either remain untouched or wiped down." So that's another form to sign. And last but not least, pre-screening listings with your agent. This is probably the most important thing because if you think that all of this other stuff sounds like pain, it is. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of, coordination and it's a lot of time spent with masks, gloves, and everything. So why not pre-screen a lot of these listings with your agent? Why not sit down with your agent and talk about if you have a list of listings that you're excited to see, have a conversation with your agent first so that you can go through them with that agent and say, have your agent say, "You know what? You mentioned that you want 2 full baths. This house only has 1. Are you prepared to install a bath, or should we just take this one off the list? Or is that something you can live without?" You mentioned that a two-car garage is something that you can't live without. Well, this one only has a one-car garage, so maybe we should take this off the list. Even though it's very it has a very nice garage, if you can't live without that in your garage, we need to take off the list. And then that way you're really narrowing it down and you're really only going out for live showings with so many houses. And it's gonna be easier for you, it's gonna be easier for all involved. So again, I guess my takeaway is really just to get serious. Get serious about this. If you are going to be looking for a house, now's the time. Now's the time to get that pre-approval done. A lot of those forms that I mentioned on the previous slide, you can sign in advance. So your agent can help you out with that. That way you have everything signed, you have everything done, and you can focus on the fun part. Focus on the best part of it, and that is looking for your dream home, looking for your home that's gonna accomplish your next goal. Um, that's the best part, and that's the part that we wanna focus on, so all of these other things that have kind of bubbled to the top because of COVID, we're going to help you. We're gonna help you get through it. We're going to answer any questions that you have so everyone feels safe and sound. Uh, so again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd love to answer them now. If not, I'll answer them after. You can message me. You can find previous videos. You can go back to this video if you joined us late. But I do appreciate you joining me. It's second up. Get coffee, get tea, get a Bloody Mary, whatever you want to do. But we are yellow tomorrow, and for better for worse, um, we're yellow tomorrow. And I think it's gonna be good. It's a step in the right direction, but real estate has changed, and a lot of these changes are gonna stick. So even if you're not in the market in the next 2 weeks, month, whatever this yellow phase is, I think learning about is gonna benefit you because I don't think a lot of this is gonna go away. Maybe the COVID specific forms will go away, but I think that the sellers being in control of who sees their house is really going to stick, and more than ever, it's gonna be important you identify as a serious buyer, not just casual buyer. Maybe if you start your search casual, start it virtually with your agent. Start virtual tours. Um, so have a good day, have a good weekend. I hope Yellow Phase goes well for you and everybody. I hope it's a step in the right direction, and I'm always here to answer any questions that you have. We'll see.